look at when we think we are not good enough. What does this actually mean? When we think we're not good enough, it's because somewhere along the line in our lifetime, there's been little pieces that have added up to having our brain think that we are not good enough. And so now when we see things or we hear things or things are not going our way, we come back to those triggers. We come back to those trauma that were in our life from many, many years ago. And they could be the smallest things that have caused us a thread of trauma. And over time, there's more pieces and more pieces and more pieces that get added to the puzzle. And this is the triggering that really comes into play when we're in our older years of life. It's not that we're not good enough, it's that whatever we've made up in our head from when we were little, when we were young, that has us believe that we were not good enough. When if you really looked at the situation, if you really went back and to see the traumas and to understand from the perspective of that little girl or that little boy and go, okay, was it really that? It's just what happens in our head. We make up stories and this plants a seed that we're not good enough, when really we are good enough. We just have to reverse the trauma that we've gone through in our lives and tell a different story. Because those stories from our younger years, our inner child, our little girl, our little boy, that is mapping out our life now is really the parts that need some love, that need some attention. And to move forward in life, we have to be able to see these triggers that come up or see these emotions that are causing the rebound effect of a life story, and to come back to our hearts and go, was it really that story back then? And we can start healing those parts to then tell a different story. We can make a different story today and just know that we are all here doing our best. And when we're all doing our best, that's good enough. There is no not good enough, because we're all trying. Whatever level we're at, we're all trying. There's no one perfect. There's no perfect situation. There's always going to be a thing. There's always going to be a speed bump or a challenge or something that comes into our perspective, into our life. It's here to guide us. It's here to allow us to see things from a different perspective and to move us forward, to give us that confidence that you've got it, everything's good, and that you are good enough. You are literally good enough. Let's do our own inner work. Our own inner guidance guides us to what needs to be healed, what needs to be alchemized, to start living from a place of seeing things differently, to seeing what's going on in our past, what's going on in our previous years that's shaped the way that we operate today, the way, the thoughts, the patterns, the behaviors that we display today. And if we aren't happy, to be able to look at it and tell a new story. And the new story is you are good enough and you can have whatever you want. It's about believing, unhooking from those past traumas, those past attachments, and telling a new story. Today is part of you telling a new story forward. You've got this. All right, much love, AmandaG.